Hey everyone! In this video, I want to share what it's been like living in Copenhagen for the past 2 years. I get a ton of questions about it, and honestly, it's been such a great experience that I figured it's worth sitting down and talking about it properly. If you've ever thought about moving here, or you're just curious what life is like in Denmark's capital, this one's for you. So first up, the size of the city. I feel like people underestimate how good it is to live somewhere that's not too big, but still has everything you need. Copenhagen hits that sweet spot. It's not a tiny town where you're limited for options, but it's also not overwhelming like London or New York, where visiting friends across the city feels like a full-on mission. Here you can literally bike everywhere. And I'm not saying that in a you could if you wanted to kind of way. People actually do it every day, all year round. It's just part of life here. I barely touch my metro card. The bike lanes here are basically a second road network. They are safe, flat, and honestly it gives me this sense of freedom and independence that I didn't have while living in London. You're not stuck in traffic. You're not sprinting for a delayed train. It's one of those little lifestyle shifts that quietly makes a huge difference. And along with that comes the slower pace. In London or other big cities, it always felt like I was rushing, even when I didn't need to. Everyone else's stress kind of becomes yours. Here, it's different. It's calmer. There aren't big crowds everywhere. You're not constantly squeezed on the streets or in bars and restaurants. And because it's not overrun with people, you can actually find a table when you go out for coffee or brunch. No reservation needed. You're not crammed in shoulder to shoulder at every spot. There's room to breathe, literally and socially. People stroll instead of power walking. They actually live slower, and I've noticed myself doing the same. It's 100% tied to the size of the city and how livable it is, and I absolutely love that. Another thing I appreciate every single day is how connected the city is to the water. Canals, the harbor, the sea, it's everywhere. And it's clean. You can swim in it, like actual swimming in the middle of the city without worrying about what might be floating next to you. I'll grab a coffee and just head to one of the docks or beaches, sit there for an hour, and it's weirdly therapeutic. I grew up in a city by the sea, so after years in London, I missed it. Copenhagen gave that back to me. And it makes such a difference having open water nearby. It just resets your brain somehow. And speaking of simple joys, oh my god, the night sky. I know it sounds random, but coming from London, where the sky is always kind of this weird orangey red glow from all the light pollution, actually seeing a dark sky at night has been one of my favorite underrated things. You can see the stars here. Actual constellations. It's a tiny thing, but it makes nights feel quieter and calmer. And the air, I swear it smells different here, cleaner and fresher. I call it Nordic air. Even when it's freezing cold, it feels good to breathe in. I think it's because there's not as much traffic, there aren't factories everywhere, and you've got so much water and green space. It makes a difference in how you feel day to day. And honestly, the city is spotless. Public spaces, streets, parks, everything's clean and not in a fake, overly manicured way. People here genuinely care about their home and it shows, and it makes you want to take care of it too. Something else I didn't expect is how safe I feel here. No city is perfect, of course, but Copenhagen has a really low crime rate, and you notice that. People leave their bikes unlocked sometimes, which still blows my mind, and you'll see little kids walking home from school alone. There's this underlying sense of trust here that makes everyday life feel lighter. Then there's the Danish design thing. I know it's a bit of a cliche at this point, but it really does live up to the hype. Even random cafes or tiny bakeries have this effortlessly cool, minimal, cozy vibe. Natural wood, clean lines, candles everywhere, little hygge moments around every corner. It makes the everyday stuff, like grabbing a coffee or sitting at home on a rainy evening, just a little bit better. And yeah, the winters here are dark, like really dark, but honestly it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Of course, it comes down to the individual, but the city leans into it. There are fairy lights everywhere and candles in the windows, and the cozy indoor spots open up, and it's not so depressing, it's just a different kind of vibe during the winter. And when spring finally hits, it feels like the whole city wakes up all at once. And everyone's out in the parks, the city turns green again, and you appreciate the seasons in a way you just don't in places where the weather's always kind of the same. So yeah, 2 years in, and I still have these little pinch me moments where I'm like, damn, do I really live here? It's clean and it's calm and it smells so good, and it's got the sea and you can bike everywhere. I don't need anything more than that personally. If you're thinking about moving here or even just visiting for a while, do it. And if you're already living here, then let me know in the comments what your favorite thing about Copenhagen is. I would love to know. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up please, because it helps me a lot. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for hanging out with me and have a good one.